Good afternoon, good evening, good morning.
Hey guys, I'm your girl London Britt.
And I'm Jazzy Nicole.
And welcome to Faith Talks
Real Walks with
Podcast.
Us.
We're finally here, girls.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited.
Out the group chat.
Oh my goodness. That should be like a round of applause right now because of this.
We did it. We did it.
Yeah.
We did the first episode.
We did. And I think the title of this episode is Fire.
Yeah.
Rooted and Real. I think that's a fire way to start our first podcast. But you got to tell them about you. Tell them so they know who London Britt is. Tell them, girl.
Who, me?
Yes. Yes.
So, hey guys, I am London Britt. I'll start off by saying my real name is Brittany. It's another story that y'all will learn along the journey. But London came along when I was 16 because the year Sweet 16 was not so sweet for me. And I just created a whole new identity for myself. But you guys will learn along the journey. But I am London Britt. I am a daughter. I am a mother. I am a sister. I'm a friend. I'm a lover. I'm such a girl's girl. I'm a social butterfly. I love God. Who don't love God? What's wrong with you? But no, I'm a mother to two beautiful babies, Ocean and River. I love all things entrepreneurship. I'm all for people just being the best versions of themselves and just finding who they are in Christ. And I'm just happy to be here, really and truly and honestly, because 2 years ago, you couldn't tell me I'd be on a podcast talking and sharing things that I've been through. Like, that just still, to me, I'm just like, how am I here? But I'm here. God got me here, and I'm blessed, and I'm happy to be here with my beautiful sis, Jazzy Nicole. But yes, you guys will learn more about me, but that's just a little snippet about me. Tell them about you, boo.
Well, you guys, it's hard to follow up after that. But what about your podcast? Are you going to tell them about your podcast?
Oh, yes. So we have Faith Talks, Real Walks together, but I do have an individual podcast called the Go Get Her Podcast, which is a podcast where we focus on going after the woman that God created us to be.
Periods. The podcast is fire. It is fire. So, guys, my name is Jazzy Nicole. I, too, am a mother. I am a mother of two beautiful girls, 10 and 14, Janiyah and Malia. I have my own podcast called Becoming P31. So you guys are in good hands with two women who love God.
Yes.
I am a content creator full time, and I'm loving every bit of it. It's a faith journey. God called me to do it, and I'm walking into it. And it's scary, to be honest, but just following God step by step, something that I've never done before, but I've committed my life and my steps and my family's lives to Him. And so this is just a new journey. I'm excited for this journey, for this podcast. Yes. I think it's amazing how we met. Do you want to tell them how we met, or you want me to tell them how we met?
Tell them, because I'm the one that pulled up on you.
Okay.
So, yes, guys, we met through TikTok. Thank you, TikTok. Shout out to you.
Thank you, TikTok.
But no, for real. So, y'all, I'm getting my oil change, minding my business, scrolling on TikTok, trying to let the time go by. And I see this fire girl.
Hey.
And she was just going off, but in a good way. You were talking about the video. I think you were talking about, oh my gosh, what was it? What is her name?
Was it Tamar?
Tamar, yes.
Hey.
You was talking about Tamar, how she was, doing her little thing. And I was like, I literally just read this, and I read it in the same way that you were explaining it. So it was like your comedic style, you just being authentically you. And it was like, wow, like somebody understood it the same way I did. Like, that's what really intrigued me, because I swear I was judging her too. I was. But who am I to judge? But I was just like,
Okay.
now, Tamar, how was you going to do
Okay.
that?
Right.
It's your father-in-law. But the way that you explained it, I was just like, yo, I just read that. So I was dumb hyped. So I'm like, follow immediately. And then I was like, she seems like somebody who would be so fun to have as a guest on my podcast. So
Yes.
I'm like, should I write her? Should I not write her? Like, I don't want to seem weird. Obviously, I just followed you. And I did pray about it. And I was like, God, I think I should do it. He was like, do it. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm going to do it. So I DM'd her, y'all, complete stranger. And I just told her, I was like, yo, you're super dope. I just came across your page. The way you explained that, I literally interpreted it the same way. And like, now we're here. That's how
Yes.
we connected. Literally sister from another mister. Like, you can't
Facts.
tell me that we haven't been friends for years.
Okay.
Of course, we're still getting to know each other. We're still learning each other. But it was just like an instant, like, nah, this right here, this is a solid one,
Yeah.
But how did you feel when I wrote you?
I was excited because you was
Yeah.
like, you know what? I had this podcast and I went to your page. And I was like, okay, her glasses are fire. Now, one thing about me, like, I have a thing for fire glasses. Okay.
Me too.
Your energy was fire. I was like, yes, yes. In our first conversation, y'all, like, we talked for a really long time. And it was like you said, it was like we've known each other our entire life. Like, it was just easy going. And honestly, it's kind of hard as an adult. I don't know about for you too, but like to find friendship,
yes,
or even people that you can have a real connection with. And even in the body of Christ too, if we're being honest, sometimes it's hard to find those connections. You may feel like people are judging you, you may feel this, you may feel that, but it felt so genuine and I appreciated it so much. We talk all the time and I just love it.
All the time.
I love it.
All the time.
Yeah.
And honestly, like, you show up for me, and it's like you're miles away. You think about me when I'm like, I am probably not even on this girl's mind, and you're hitting me up like, hey, just checking in. How are you? Like, even like I told you the day you checked up on me when it was my grandma's, the year of her passing, and you checked on me, and I was just like, she remembered. Like, like, it's just a breath of fresh air. Cause like you said, it's not easy building genuine connections with people, especially not somebody you even met in person,
Okay.
So yeah, we locked in. Like, I'm
Come
on
twin.
you. You ain't going nowhere.
Yay! I'm
you
excited.
are not going nowhere.
And y'all ain't either. So matter of fact, while you here, go ahead and subscribe and follow along. Listen, I'm excited for this. If you don't, let me tell y'all again one more time, because the name is fire. I need y'all to understand the dynamic of this and what you're going to get from these two ladies right here who love God.
Tell them,
faith
sis.
talks, real walks. What does that mean? That means faith. It means real conversations. It means things that you may be dealing with, that we may be dealing with, that we're going to put in front of the table, because some of this stuff is not talked about, and it is important. We want to be your online circle. Group hug at 3:00 by the cafeteria. If
literally. And I just feel like it's so important for people to not just share like the struggles of their walk, but also show the other side. Listen, y'all, I'm going through pain and suffering right now, but then 2 episodes later, I'm showing the blessings that was on the other side of that, I feel like it's so important for people to see, and especially with our generation, because I'm 31. I feel like our generation needs to be introduced and approached by God in a very different way.
Oh, yeah.
And a lot of people, we watch sermons on our phone or on YouTube. We watch podcasts. Like, we have so many outlets where God is showing up. So I feel like it's important for people like me and you, content creators. That's more of your thing. But I guess I'm a content creator.
You are a content creator, yes. You create content, yes.
That is true.
Counts.
That is true. But I feel like it's important for us, especially with the faith-based content, to show up and really show people like, yeah, this walk is not easy, but it's worth it.
It is so worth it.
So it's faith talks, because things are dead without faith, okay? Like, nothing will proceed, nothing will grow without faith. And it's believing the unknown. And then, you know what I heard? Sunday, My pastor was like, when you're doubting things, you're doubting God.
Ooh.
You're doubting the source.
Mm-hmm.
So doubt is literally like an argument between you and God.
And your
So
father.
I'm going to have my house,
Mm-hmm.
claiming it. God told me next year you're going to have your house.
Oh,
Then
yeah.
doubt creeps in. Oh, but you're not making enough money to get to that point.
Mm-hmm.
So then you're like, oh, yeah, all right, let me work some extra hours. Let me do this. Let me do that. And at the end of the day, God said, I told you what you're going to have. I didn't tell
Yes.
you to do X, Y, or Z.
Yeah.
When doubt creeps in, we start to doubt
Anxiety.
him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important for us to just focus on what he said and trust. And that's
Mm-hmm.
where faith comes in. And it's hard because
Mm-hmm.
it's the unknown. It's like, all right, I know you're telling me this, but my circumstances don't look like I'm about to have a house next year, God.
Okay.
Like, you know? So, yeah, that's what we're here for. Faith talks, because listen, we need these talks. Like
We
she
do.
said, sisterhood, community, come over here at 3:00 in the cafeteria. Let's pull up and talk about God. Like, you know,
Okay.
like
Who's bringing the
that's
fruit
how we want it
snacks?
to be.
I'm bringing the paper plates. So one of y'all cook. Okay.
Like for real. But yes, that's the feel that we want you guys to have, you know, when you come and you listen to this podcast. Like, you know what, let me pull up on my homegirls. Let me listen to what they're talking
Okay.
about this week. You know, so I'm excited for this.
Me too. Me too. So I got a question for you. I got a
Yeah.
question. What is something unexpected before you reached out that you were like, huh, I didn't expect that about her? I know it's a good question.
That is a good question. She didn't tell me about that, y'all. She caught me off guard.
Sneaky.
That's a good one. Wow, I really have to think what's unexpected. I can honestly say, because I came from such a place where I'm like, I don't want to be friends with nobody else.
Mm-hmm.
I done had friendship breakups, hurt bad.
Yeah.
Those hurt sometimes more than like boyfriend girlfriend breakups.
They do.
But yeah,
They
I think
do.
because I was coming from that place of like having a really bad friendship breakup over the past 2 years, I was just like, you know what, let me just leave this as she'll be a guest. We check in here and there, and that's it. I was not expecting an actual like sisterhood and friendship.
Yeah.
And like I said, for you to show up how you do. And
Yeah.
as I told you, I'm usually the one that's like checking on people, pouring into people, making sure they're good, like, you know, just going above and beyond, doing the most. And I don't usually have that reciprocated. So I would say that the fact that you really do show up and you're solid on your word, and you make sure I know your presence is felt even though you're miles away.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
That was sweet.
Yeah.
For you, I didn't know, like, well, you have that energy that is very comforting. You do have that energy. It's all over you. Even in your smile, like you can tell. I didn't know that you design clothes. Like that was new, and it makes so much sense. Like, because I'm like, your style is tea, baby. Style is fire.
Thank you so much. That is true. I did not tell you that. Yes, that is true.
Yeah, that's fire.
That is
Absolutely
true.
beautiful.
That's a good one. Yeah, I did not share that. I need to bring her back, the designer in me. She didn't go nowhere, but it's just like, ooh, that's another story, child.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's actually good. Yeah, because I didn't share that with you. That's good. She caught me off guard, y'all.
I'd like to apologize, kind of. So we talked about the story of really how God led us to meet each other, and we talked about our first impressions, and how I personally think that our relationship was orchestrated by God. It just doesn't make any more sense, especially since you prayed about it, and then us communicating. You're definitely there for me a lot, like reaching out to me and praying for me, and it's definitely a divine connection that I think that only God, you can only explain with God. I mean, like you said, we are miles away. So I'm definitely grateful. And I'm grateful for this platform as well, and this community, and that we are seasoned podcasters.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel so prepared for this.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
At least it's not super, super brand new for us.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh yeah, for
actually, let me
sure.
tell them how this came about.
Yeah. Oh, go ahead, please.
So I was driving. I had just dropped my daughter off on daycare, and I was listening to Kiki Palmer podcast, and she had Pastor Michael Todd.
Hmm.
Yes, Michael
Yes.
Todd as a guest. And he was just talking about like their flow and everything. And he was like, we should have Faith Fridays. Like we got a good flow going on here. And as soon as he said it, something said, "Ding," and I was like, ooh, I like that. And I was like, the perfect person would be Jazzy. Like literally,
Hey.
like you are the only person that came to my head because like when we had our episode on my platform,
Yeah.
people were telling me like, yo, y'all know each other for a long time because y'all was like clicking like I knew each other for years. And I'm like, no. And then I tell them the story and they're like, no, y'all got a good vibe. Like I really got something going there. So like you immediately came to my head and I was like, let me pray about it. And then I brought it to you and you was like, I'm down. And I was like,
Okay. Let's go.
I'm like, listen, what do we have to lose? At least we
Nothing.
try and we see
Yeah.
where it goes. And, you know, we prayed throughout the whole process. You know, we were actually supposed to start about 2 weeks ago, but we communicate well. We're like, hey, listen, this date doesn't work. Can we do that? You know, like we just mesh very, very well. And I like that we're both open minded. Like you'll share something, I'll share something, and we're like, versus like,
Mm-hmm.
oh yeah, I love it. And then we're like, ooh, I really don't like that. Like, you know,
Exactly.
like we're both open and honest. And I think that's what we need to
Yeah.
succeed, you
Yeah.
know, because we're not going to love everything. We're not going to like
Mm-hmm.
everything, but we need to be honest and then meet in the middle. So I think so far we've been
Exactly.
doing great with that.
I think we definitely have been doing great with that. And that too is a blessing, is having that
Mm-hmm.
safe space, because it's hard to find that too. So I do want to get into like some biblical foundations of godly
Mm-hmm.
relationships. You guys, we are going to talk about that, but I do want to say one thing, because I think there's power in testimony for sure, right? And today was a day, baby. So we already put this off, but today, y'all don't understand how bad this was not going to happen because of all the events that occurred today.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll tell you my end. On my end, y'all, my daughters have practice. I drive them to practice. And
Mm-hmm.
as I'm driving them, it's 17 degrees outside. My tire pressure
Freezing.
goes from 30 to 22 with my daughters. And I'm like, are you serious? So I'm driving around. Now, mind you, I went to 2 different gas stations until I realized how to properly use the air pump. Judge me another day. I didn't
Another
know
day.
you're supposed to press the button. I
Another
didn't
day.
know. Nobody told me.
Another
So
day.
I had to go get air in my tire. I get back home. My hot air is not working, or my furnace is not working. So I'm just like, you know what? You know what? God, obviously, Satan is trying to block this for some sort of reason,
Yes.
but you ordained it. We prayed on it. We agreed on it, and we stuck to it. And
Yep.
I'm definitely proud of us for that.
Yes. Push through. Okay. First
Yes.
of all, I just cut my finger off.
Lord.
I was cooking and I sliced a piece of meat off my finger, y'all.
Oh, my
But
goodness.
work was crazy. I had a headache all day, like headache all day. It's still little lingering there, but it's not like what it was. My sciatica is killing me. Like every time I'm about to start something new, he attacks my body. And it's so predictable at this point. Like I even said to her, I said, yo, the enemy is really trying so hard for me to not record tonight. Like it's just, it's so predictable. So I'm like, I'm pushing through no matter what. Like
Yes.
you're not going to win. You're already defeated. Like he knows, oh no, these two coming together. These two coming together. Oh no. Oh no. And like you said, he attacks your mind, he attacks my body. So he knew what he was trying to do, but God got bigger plans. So
yes. But I think it says a lot that for us, for anybody really, is paying attention to the way that the devil tries to attack you. Sometimes the devil will try to attack you. If you're a person who values relationships, he will try to attack you in the areas of relationships.
Yep.
For me, it's my mind. Like the devil will literally try to play with my mind and how I view myself. For you, it's your body. But y'all, pay attention to how the devil tries to attack you.
Yeah.
Because the way he tries to attack you is one of the pieces that God uses in you. Like he will try to attack pieces that God uses in you as your part of your gift. So be very mindful of that.
Yeah.
So today we are talking about what makes godly friendships. And I think this is perfect for us because, you know, we do live so far away from each other. We're going to talk about some biblical foundation. We're going to talk about some Bible verses and just some things that you can meditate on for godly friendships. And I know a lot of Christian women struggle with that, with finding godly relationships.
Yeah. It takes time. I'll start there. It takes time. It takes you having a open mind and open heart because the enemy, like you just even said, he will use what you love so much to attack you.
Oh, yeah.
So this could have all not even been happening if I was so focused on my pain and hurt from past friendships, right? But I say, you know what? I know the friend I am. I know that I deserve good friends. I know that God has Christian, God-fearing, faithful women who will be connected with me in a way where we will glorify your name and do all things for you. I know that. I'm confident in that. And I just said, whenever it happens, whenever you send her or them my way, I'll be open and I'll be ready.
Yep.
So it definitely comes to a point where you have to just trust him and have discernment, because the enemy will dress somebody up like, okay, all right, God, this might be her. Yeah. And then you start pouring out all these things and not listening to the signs and not paying attention to what God is telling you. And then you're heartbroken all over again because they betrayed you or they broke your trust or, you know, like just different things happen. But it's important to have discernment. It's important. Like literally, I said I prayed before I DM'd her. Like that to some people that might be like, all right, girl, that's extreme. No, I'm praying about every decision that I make.
Yes.
Because I'm intentional. Yeah. And if I want things to be impactful in my life, regardless if I saw this as a long-term friendship or, you know, not, I'm going to pray before I do this because I know that God is in it. And if he gives me the yes, I know it's his will. And my goal is for my will to always align with his. If he would have said no, I would have just liked it, comment, and then kept it going, you know, like, so I think it's important to have discernment, but also just pray about every single thing. Like, God, I have this dope relationship. Seems like we're vibing. We're really good. We connect well. We are so connected on so many levels. Like we have so much in common. Is this a friendship that you want to proceed? Is this somebody that I can see as a sister in Christ? Is this somebody where you want us to build your kingdom together? Like, just like those different questions. Those are the things that I was asking him. And it was always a green light. It was always a green light. So, you know, I'm speaking about me and you, but in general, like just having those conversations with him, because he will give you the answers.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He will give you the answers. He will give you the signs. But I feel like in this season, we connected because I was becoming stronger in reading my word. My faith was growing. I was learning discernment. Like, I'm a different woman. So now this version of me can connect with women like you, you know?
Yeah, same.
If I was the hurt, old, bitter me, we probably wouldn't connect so well. Does that make sense?
It makes so much sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, God shifts us and he changes us, and and in God changing us, he changes our perspective. But I like how you said to seek him. And I think even no matter what relationship you were talking about, whether it's friendship, working relationship, romantic relationship, when God is at the center of it, it can't be missed. But also too, God is going to show you because you'll learn God's character. So while you're reading your word, you're learning God's character. So he's going to show you different things. He's going to show you different signs. And we actually do have some signs of godly friendships. And really, honestly, you can kind of take it into anything. But do you want me to go into it, or do you want to go into it?
Yeah, you can go into it. Yeah.
Okay. So the signs of godly friendships, definitely encouragement versus competition. Have you had friends where it's like, you almost feel like you competing with sis? Like, I'm not trying to compete, girl. Like, I just want to go get some wings and sit down. Like,
that's
you know what I'm saying? Like goodness, are we wait a second? Can I get my wing? My
That's
3 piece.
it. Just
But
trying to
when
eat.
I'm just trying to eat. When you got those friends who give you encouragement in every step of the way, it's a difference, and you notice that. And as you build your relationship with God, you see that. And God is always going to have a biblical foundation. When it's God, it's going to come from word, right? It's going to be encouragement over competition, and I absolutely appreciate that. But there's a few more. Correction in love. Have you ever had somebody who corrected you out of love, like they were just like hype friends or storytellers, or they were really bold and disrespectful when they approached you, versus someone who was just telling you the truth and it's coming from a place of love? Like, have you ever had somebody like that, someone you considered a friend, that corrected you outside of love, right? Yeah, definitely. I have too. Accountability and spiritual growth is what you're going to get from a relationship that's rooted in God, which is so fundamentally important because we need those accountability partners, but as well as people who are willing to not only pray for you, but pray with you. Goodness gracious. That's our list of signs of a godly friendship. Is it present in your friendship? Yes or no?
Yes or no?
Is it present?
Baby, if those ain't checked off,
you listen. Yes.
You might have to take inventory of that friendship. And it's not to throw shade. It's not even that. But you want to have people in your life who, like you said, hold you accountable, correct you with love. No, they don't judge you.
Right.
Who are we to judge? But when you share something with me, I'm going to be like, all right, now, sis, I love you. This is coming from a place of love. I feel like you've grown from that version of you. I feel like you're blossoming into so much more. I feel like in this moment, you're not giving yourself enough credit. You're not seeing your true worth. Maybe think about this. And then if she decides not to take that advice, don't take that personal. Pray for her. God, listen, you know what my friend is going through. You know the space she's in. Help her see her how you view her. Help her see her self-worth. Help her to know that she is loved and she doesn't have to experience this, or whatever it is. Give it to God. You said your part, and let him do his thing. It's not your job to be the captain and save her. That's God's job. So if you that friend, it's not that you're coming from a bad place. You're trying to help, but don't take offense when the person doesn't take advice. I've had that before. Have you ever had a friendship like that where if you don't take their advice, they like feel away? And it's like,
they do feel away. Okay, so but I gotta play the devil's advocate on that one, because what if you have a friend that always asks you for advice, and every time they ask you for advice, they don't take it. At a certain point, I'm gonna be you know what? I'm done giving you. You ain't gonna take it anyway, girl. Where we
not
going?
Gonna take it anyway.
No.
Yeah, no.
So what is the point? So I can understand if that's the context. Yeah. Girl, I get it. I get it. I can't.
Definitely.
You worded that so perfect. Let me ask you, what do you say in that situation? So you got a friend who always comes to you for advice, but they don't take the advice that you give them. How do you word that?
Yeah, I'm actually going through that right now. So I'm going to tell you how I'm dealing with it.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine. Okay. So honestly and truly, I'm honest. I'm like, you know what? I'm here to listen. And just that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want me to listen right now and be silent? Or do you want me to listen and give you my advice?
Good.
Based on the answer is how I approach it. So if it's just, no, girl, I just need an ear right now. I just need to get it out. And then don't say nothing else. Don't judge me today. Don't nothing. Cool, I got you.
Done.
But now, if they say, I do want your advice, I'm going to give my honest advice. And even if they don't take it, I don't take offense no more. I'm like, you asked for it. Maybe it's in the back of your head. Maybe a seed might be planted somewhere. Might not be today, tomorrow, or the next day, but the seed is planted.
Yeah.
You do what you want with that. So,
yeah, for sure. Yeah. That was good. She's good. Okay, that was good. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. prefacing the conversation, because what's the point? And that way you can be the friend that they need, instead of the friend that you assume that they need, I guess, right? So yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah. And I like that you said too, my goodness, what was the first one? Not competition, but
oh yeah, encouragement versus
Yes.
competition. Yeah.
Yes. It's not a natural feeling to want to be competitive, but it's a natural feeling. Like, I feel like in a good relationship, a good friendship, oh, sis is doing her thing. Like, let me get on my stuff, And then it's like, yo, Jazzy, you really doing your thing with this content creating. Like, can you help me get on my, like, I feel like those are healthy conversations versus, oh, she really thinks she doing it, huh?
Yeah.
Well, I could do this better. No, we are stronger together. We're stronger together. We don't have to compete there's already enough competition in the world. We do not have to compete with one another. We don't have to go behind each other's backs. I think it's just healthier to say, hey, listen, I'm struggling in this area. I need help with saving. I need help with budgeting. I see that you budget really, really well. Is this something that you'd be comfortable with helping me with? Like, just having those healthy, open conversations. I think it all comes down to communication, healthy communication, and discernment. Because if you ask, if sis is like, red flag, because we don't gatekeep here. That's a red flag.
Because what's the point?
Yeah, what's the point?
What's the point?
Okay.
Unless it's a situation where that's her. Like, for instance, if your friend is a credit repair specialist, right? And you go to her like, hey, I know your credit is a good 800. Can you help me? If that's her job, maybe you need to be paying her just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But
yes,
other than
of course.
That, like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I completely understand what you're saying.
I'm all for whatever it is. I'm paying you, sis. Because my cousin all the time, she does makeup, she does hair. Anytime I ask her, no, don't worry about it, cousin. I'm like,
I'm paying you something.
What's your price?
What is your price?
You. Even if you don't want to charge me the full price, okay, I'm paying you something.
Exactly.
You provided a service for me. I'm not one of those friends that's just going to take it for free and keep it going. No, baby, I want to pay you for your work. So yeah, I'm all for that. Definitely get that.
Oh yeah, get your coins. Get your coins.
It's so silly.
Now, what about those friendships because honestly, like we go through seasons where God is shaping us and he's changing us. And sometimes our circle requires a little refinement. Nothing wrong with it. Some people are on your life for a season. What happens when those friendships shift or end? Because obviously not all friendships are forever. And how do you recognize when God is telling you that, hey, this one's over, I'm leading you into something else?
Yeah. So, I'll speak on a current, well, not current, but kind of current. Within the past 2-3 years, friendship breakup that I had. But God was giving me lots of signs that the season is up. And I was definitely that friend that was like trying to wear the cape and do everything, and getting in God's way. He's like, you're getting in my way now. So I'm going to have to hurt your feelings to kind of get you out the way. Because I'm that kind of friend, like, I'm going to stick around. Like, I'm going to stick beside you. So God was like, all right, I'm going to have to get you either very, very fed up or hurt for you to move out my way.
For sure.
You're in my way now. So, it's definitely hard. But he was giving me signs that this is not working. This is not healthy. The person would lash out on me, if there was a disagreement or things like that. And I'd just be like, that's how she is. It's okay. And I would forgive it and not really press it. Instead of saying, hey, what you said really hurt my feelings. What you said, I really don't appreciate that. And trying to have a conversation around it, I would just like kind of shove it under the rug and move on, which is not healthy on either side. And then it came to a point where it was something lots of hurtful things said. And I was like, oh, this is not okay. Like, I'm really hurt by this. To the point where, I mean, it wasn't good, but I had to block.
Oh.
I had to block. And then later on, we kind of had a conversation, but it was so many things that were being said that I couldn't even like address and answer all of it. Because it's like, at this point, you're using me as your punching bag. Like, you're upset about something and you just going way left, you know? So God sometimes will do that. Like, he will not purposely, he doesn't want us to be hurt. No. So don't take that the wrong way. But I just talked about this in my other podcast, in my personal podcast. Love sometimes is suffering. Like, look at what Jesus went through for us. That's because his father loved us so much that he allowed his son to suffer. So sometimes we have to suffer in order for him to prune us. Like, that pruning season is not fun. But he was showing me, I've been trying to tell you this season is over. Now you get it. But now you're hurt. Now you're betrayed. Now your heart is broken. But I'm going to fix that. I'm going to mend that. Like, these are all the things he's telling me, and I'm just trying to navigate and move through it. And all of this actually happened on my birthday. So just imagine how I'm feeling, having a good old time, and then I'm getting all these voice notes. Yeah, so it was definitely a lot. But what it showed me, how I knew I was growing. Because even with everything, I was like, God, help her.
Yes. Okay. Come
Help
on
her.
now. Yes.
Mend her heart.
Yes.
Help her learn to love. Help her learn to love herself. Help her learn to forgive. Like, literally praying, crying, and weeping for someone who just hurt me.
That's how you know God is changing you. That is how you know, right there, when you can look at a situation and almost respond very similar to how Jesus responded on the cross when he told God, Father, forgive them. They know not what they do. That's how you know God is really working on your heart, and he is ripping out every every response you think is quote unquote normal. I'm sorry that happened to you, but you can see how good God is through that. You can see how much he grew you. That is wild.
Yeah. I was even
gracious.
Like, whoa.
Right.
Really, like, my heart posture is changing a lot. Because a couple of years ago, I would have responded right back. Like, right back.
And popped up. Because it's not the thing. No. Don't act like I don't know where you. Ooh.
Hello?
Look at God. Look at God. You see what I'm saying? He too good. He too good.
Yeah. But just to answer your question, I definitely think to navigate through that is just to lean on him.
Yes.
Let him pour back into you when you feel empty from that. When you feel hurt, when you feel betrayed, let him fill the cracks.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think at a later time, we definitely need to go into detail about forgiveness. I think forgiveness is a topic that a lot of people are like, well, okay, God is going to fix it, so I'm not going to forgive her. And I'm just, but it's a whole nother level about forgiveness. So maybe at another time, y'all, we can pin that. And before we go, talking about cultivating those healthy friendships. So we talked about identifying them really when they're from God and when they're not. We talked about a little bit about the season of when to transition, when God tells you it's time, how to really set up your heart posture. You gave a really good example for it. But how do you cultivate those godly relationships? And you did talk a little bit about this. You talked about prayer, discernment, and being intentional. Same as how we developed this friendship. But how would you tell someone to really cultivate those godly relationships, aside from, if there's anything extra, aside from what you said?
I think, honestly, being authentically you. Being authentically you, not trying to be like anybody else, not trying to be like anybody you see on social media, on TV. Being authentically you and connecting with people who connect with you.
That part.
We connected because we're both silly, goofy, chasing God. Like, literally in this season, who we are, we connected with each other because we're being ourselves and true to ourselves. So I think that's important. Like, even today, I just hired somebody at work, right? The new girl, I'm training her. And it was right before I left work. Oh, she asked me, she said, I know you're so tired. I know you have to go home and be on mommy mode. And I said, yeah. And I told her about what we're doing. We're recording. I said, me and my friend are starting a faith-based podcast, blah, blah, blah. And she was like, oh, I just became a Christian. And I was like,
oh, shut
I
up.
love that for you. And then like literally we just started talking and I told her about the podcast. And she was like, oh my God, I really want to tap in. She was like, I'm like looking for stuff like that. Like I want to just learn more about the Bible. Like literally me just being myself, my silly, goofy self, and then just like talking about my day. And then it led into a conversation and I actually prayed for her. Like it just went into something I didn't even know was going to go to just from me being myself and having a simple conversation, you know, like, so I think just being open-minded, being guarded too, because that's the thing, that's another episode for sure. Because when you pour out into so many people, you have to learn how to pour back into yourself, let God pour into you, but also cover yourself because the enemy uses things and people to attack you. So being guarded, having discernment, of course, and I think just being lovable. And not everybody is lovable, so I get that too. But not even lovable like, oh, let me know, but just having that heart posture that wants to give love and wants to receive love. I think when you show people like, listen, I'm rocking with you. We might have just met. We might be strangers. If you need something, I got you. If you need prayer, I got you. Like just having that up front, I think gives people the confidence like, oh, wow, maybe I can lean on her. You know, like even yesterday, I was driving home. I saw this lady. She had a brown bag and it dropped, like her stuff dropped out of it. The brown bag broke. So I pulled over. I said, hey, miss, I said, I see that your bag just broke. I have some bags in my trunk. Do you want a bag? And she was like, are you serious? And I was like, yeah. I said, I just saw your stuff drop and I have a bag. Do you want it? And she was like, oh my God, yes. Like she was so shocked. And she was like, people aren't nice like this nowadays.
No.
Like she was like, you really just stopped. Like I literally stopped and reversed. And she was like, people are not nice like this nowadays. Like, she was like, I'm not trying to be rude, but wow. Like, wow. And she was just like, thank you. So I just think like simple stuff like that, like just having that heart of wanting to help people, wanting to show up for people, that might have made her day. She could have had a terrible day. And just that small moment of me giving her a grocery bag could have made her day. And she's like, you know what? Maybe today wasn't so bad after all.
There you go.
Like you just never know how you show up for people and how you impact them just by being authentically you.
I think that was really good. And I think the more that we rest in God's presence and the more that we read his word and spend time with him, it changes your heart posture so much and it allows you to get out of your own way. Because like, you know, stepping out on faith like that, sometimes it's scary. But it really allows you to get out of your way because God has changed you so much that you have no other option but to have a heart of a giver because you understand that Jesus was about servitude. He was about being a servant first. And when you think about that and you change your heart posture towards that because of how much you're relying on God, it just kind of, it's a natural thing. So we definitely encourage you guys, if you are someone who is seeking for godly relationships, to not take that off of your prayer list. Keep praying for that. Keep seeking that. Your Father hears you. So, and he says that he hears his people. He says he hears his children. So he hears you. So keep praying for that, being open and honest about that. We want to leave you with one thing to do, which is leave this week by reaching out to one of your friends and really just shedding some encouragement to them this week. One friend, two friends, all three of them, whatever. Encourage this week. And if you are, of course, this is a new podcast, so do us a favor and like, share, subscribe, send to your cousin. You know what I'm saying? Maybe your niece, if she old enough for this conversation, send it away.
Period. Listen, you can open up the conversation like, listen, I just listened to this podcast. And it made me want to reach out to you. Share it with a friend, y'all. Share it with a friend. But no, everybody deserves sisterhood like this. I'm so grateful for you, my beautiful sister. Let's just clap it up for the beauty. Like, look at the beauty.
Okay.
But no,
she over there
seriously.
her pig. Y'all got to see her. If y'all not follow us on YouTube, you need to watch this video because she looks beautiful in this pink, honey.
But yes, I'm so grateful for you. I'm so grateful for this. Guys, if you didn't take away anything from today, please, 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 please trust God and know that He's bringing you a beautiful friend, a beautiful sister who loves you, who will pour into you, and you will be able to pour back into her, and you guys will create amazing things from just having an open heart and open mind with each other.
That's true.
And we're proof.
Facts.
But thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.